Yeah. Hi, welcome so much for joining the Janine Bolon Show. And today we have with us Dr. Amanda. And why we like this woman so much is because she is the NFA About Money Queen. And that's, what are we going to call it today? We're going to call it No Effing Around with Money. She is the host of the NFA Money YouTube channel. She's been featured in over 150 podcasts. She and I were kind of laughing while she was in the green room about, we've both been doing this for so long. It's like, let's just have a great conversation together. So just a little bit about Dr. Amanda before we move in. And that is, she went from going on food stamps to building a six-figure business fast. She's been on a quest to teach not only coaches and entrepreneurs her three-step money formula, but she wants you to be able to attract money easier in your business with less stress and more joy. And she also has a proven step-by-step formula, and we're going to have all the links below. That's all you have to do. Anyway, welcome to the show, Amanda. Great to have you with us.
Woohoo, psyched to be here. Thanks for having me on, Janine.
So as you know, with the show, we work really hard to help you save your time, help you save your money, help to save your knowledge, and most importantly, how to save your sanity. So let's talk a little bit, dear, about the fact that you were on freaking food stamps. You were on food stamps and you grew your business fast. So of course, people are going to be like, this is some get rich quick scheme. I don't want anything to deal with this. And that's nothing could be further from the truth. So talk to us a little bit about your process.
Yeah, first I want to say the get rich quick scheme. I don't know that entrepreneurship is ever that. I love to help people make money more easily and faster, and it doesn't mean overnight. And my journey was a long one. And I think it's really important for people to know that the entrepreneurial journey is a lifelong one. I think of it often as your spiritual evolutionary growth path, because it will bring up everything inside of you that you get to face. So, mine started that way in big ways. It was where I was on the floor crying one night after my boyfriend had moved out. I had left my 15-year marriage having an affair. Next relationship not working. So here I am on the floor crying. I had spent the day on Craigslist looking for houses for me and my three kids while I was in grad school, already on food stamps, and I couldn't afford anything. And so, I was crying and I was feeling super helpless, and just kind of looking out at this basement, thinking about my history and looking at the patterns in the past and going, I'm the problem here. Like I'm the only solution. No one's going to come save me. I've got to figure this out. And so in that moment, I made a declaration to myself, like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to learn how to have powerful relationships and make more money and get out of this situation. And it led me to listening to podcasts because I was already super busy. And I was like, okay, how am I going to learn how to do something different when I'm already maxed out on time? And so I just started listening to podcasts while I was doing the dishes and driving my kids to school and, walking between classes. And I started to understand that you can actually learn the skills of money making and relationships. And I started to implement. And then in this amazing way that the world works, at the same time that this was going on, my department where I was earning my graduate degree in sociology for my PhD, we had this national news fallout and professors were leaving and people were really stressed. And I was going, oh boy, I love teaching, but I don't see myself becoming a professor, which was what I was on track for. And so I decided, all of these podcasts that I'm listening to are done by coaches. And so what if I just took the leap into coaching and got to do all the things I love and see what happens. And so in that first year of doing that full time, I went six figures. And so there was a lot of learning along the way. And, that's what I love to help people, coaches, coach type entrepreneurs do, is really master themselves, because then money making becomes so much easier.
It really does. And it is a process. So how long did it take you to go from that food stamp situation up to making six figures?
Well, I went on food stamps during grad school. So it was in 2016. And then I was still in grad school and listening to podcasts and starting to transform myself. And then I graduated in 2018. And in 2019, I had my first six-figure year in my business.
And so you did it faster than I did. One of the things I like to chat with people about is when I wrote the book, Money, It's Not Just for Rich People, I was already at a place where we were debt free, and that helps. Okay. And here you are working through a lot of that. But I remember we needed to become, I was married at the time to my college sweetheart. And I remember at the time that we were really going for financial independence. We wanted to not have to work if we didn't want to. And we had a 14-year plan. It was going to take us 14 years to get there. We did it in 7. And that was with the 2008 fallout. And so
Wow,
I like
that's
to tell
awesome.
people, you
Yeah.
just keep the grind, to use the gamer term. It's like, you just keep grinding. You just keep doing what you've always done, and you don't let external circumstances change that. And so that's why Amanda and I hit it off so well. And thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us about this, because I don't think these stories, they're starting to get out there more. But there's so much of the screenshots of, I can make you an influencer, or I can make you a multimillionaire. And they don't understand that there's sometimes a 5 to 7 year learning curve and getting out of debt and getting better. So talk to us a little bit about this 3-step formula that you're offering our people. By the way, the link is below. The 3-step formula that you're offering our people with that.
Yeah, the way, first, a little backstory of how I came up with this is that the more and more people that I worked with, all different types of entrepreneurs, different industries, different income levels, I kept seeing patterns over and over and over that were the same, and money blocks in specific. And I would go, people say they want one thing, but they get another. What's going on here? And it's what I call competing commitments. So it's where your unconscious battles with your conscious. And 95% of you is subconsciously run, right? We have a storehouse in our brain where there's 95% of us that is run by that subconscious belief system, and only 5% of us is conscious. So let's say we go, I am ready to be financially free. Consciously, our unconscious is going, you're full of crap. You can't do it. You don't know what you're doing. Money's bad. Rich people are jerks. What if there's not enough time? I'm getting too old. Like, I could go on and on and on with all the negative beliefs that we carry about money. And so as I started to develop money stories with my clients that I would work with, I would have everyone write a money story. And I started to just see these patterns and these money blocks. And so I'm always interested in creating the fastest strategies to help people reprogram their money mindset, because I don't care how hard you work at making money. If you don't believe certain things about wealth building, you're going to struggle, and it's going to be an uphill battle, and it's going to take a long time to do it. And when you get there, you might not feel good about it. And so I love to help people make money easier and feel good along the way, because, who cares if you have buckets of money and you don't feel good? Like, we don't want that. And so this NFA Money Formula addresses that practice. I thought you were going to say something.
Yeah, I remember in 2005 when I was writing about this, and my husband of the time turned and looked at me and said, you're really just talking to people about a mindset, and you're actually talking to them about a lifestyle. Well, none of those words were really used. When you used the word lifestyle, everybody immediately thought of the LGBT community, because we didn't have Q or plus or any of that going on during that period of time. And they thought, oh, lifestyle, alternative lifestyle. It had this ne'er-do-well sort of aspect to it. Now it's like you see the word bandied about all the time. And that's what I love, is that the conversation is getting out there and people are talking about these things. And that subroutine programming that you have in the subconscious is not the best thing for you. So talk to us a little bit about, what were some of the golden nuggets that you received in those podcasts that you were listening to? Because I know you've kind of taken those nuggets and you've amalgamated your own system, which, thank you, by the way, you're helping so many people with that. But talk to us about, what did you learn that was like instrumental for your path from those podcasts?
I think the greatest thing that I learned was that you can learn anything and change yourself from the inside out. I mean, really, like, if you're not good at something, it's usually just because you don't have enough information and you got to practice to implement it. And I think, especially with money, most people think somehow they're supposed to automatically be good at it. And it's embarrassing to ask if you're not. And a lot of people have, shame and guilt and fear around money, and they simultaneously wish they had more. So there's this jealousy thing going on and this resentment of money at the same time. And I like to think of money as a relationship. And so, when you're in relationship with money, if you're resenting it, fearing it, feeling guilty about it, judging it, like, it's not going to be attracted to you easily. And so, in that, I think on that journey of listening to, oh God, thousands of hours of podcasts. And that's why I love podcasting so much and being a guest and having my own show, is because I go, hey, let's help the world through free information. So I think one of the biggest takeaways for me was, oh, you can decide at any moment in time that you want to be good at something. And then the success formula is practice over time equals success. And that's amazing, right? Like, what a gift. It really was. I had this belief about wealthy people that everything was awesome in their lives. I had this infatuated idea of that wealthy people, just everything was amazing. And then this other belief that somehow they got there in a way that I don't understand or could never learn. And it was like, those people are wealthy, but I'm not, and I can never be. And so, breaking that down and starting to realize that as I was listening to all the mindset coaches and, lifestyle entrepreneurs and things like that, it was like, oh, okay, I can be part of this wealth club. I just need to change my mindset around it and start practicing and implementing, and then watch myself dramatically change. And, in that, I mapped back and I looked back at my journey, and then I looked at all the clients I was walking through the journey. I'm like, okay, here's the 3 simplest steps that I see people doing over and over again to be successful. And we all know success leaves clues. So at the NFA Money Formula, in its simplest version, is number 1, you've got to recognize. So this is recognizing where you're stuck, recognizing what you believe about money, becoming conscious, becoming aware, developing a relationship with yourself, right? Becoming mindful. And then number 2 is to reframe. So you've got to reframe what you believe and what you're doing. And then number 3 is repeat to reprogram. And so the only ways to reprogram your subconscious mind is through repetition, or through things like hypnosis, let's say. And it's easy to reprogram your mindset if you just do those steps repetitively. So everything I create for myself, that I walk myself through and my clients through, is based on reprogramming your mindset so that you can get automatic results that are completely different than what you've been getting.
So where can somebody go to learn more about you? I mean, we have links below that they can sign up for, but say that they're like, okay, that's too much commitment. So talk to us about your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Oh, that makes me laugh, because I go like, too much commitment. NFA is all about being radically responsible. So it's being like, that's what I love.
Right? Yeah. They're kind of tiptoeing around, and they just want a sneak peek. So that's why I'm always like, go to the YouTube channel. That's where you get to know somebody.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Right. So if they go to NFA Money on YouTube, I release videos every single week. I've started this new thing that's really fun. It's working really well. So through a quote, I give a business scaling tip. So it's like starting with the quote and then break down how to implement that into your business and up-level your money mindset. And then I have a NFA Money Talks show that helps entrepreneurs scale their businesses. And so I bring on people who are 6 figures plus, who have been there and done it, and are willing to share the journey of money making, because it's, different when you're behind the scenes than what you really think.
It is very much so. I totally agree. Dr. Amanda, any last bits of advice you want to give us before we sign off today?
Sure. So everyone write this down. This is powerful. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So if you don't like what you're getting on the outside, money, you got to change what's on the inside, your mindset. And just remember, you have the greatest power within you to create anything that you choose to create. It's about decision, commitment, and action. And so I always tell people, decide, commit, take NFA action. And then over time, you can have success in any area that you choose.
Thank you for taking time out of your day. Because we've taken us a few months to get here, but we're here. And so I would highly recommend people make sure you jump over to her YouTube channel. We YouTubers, man, we are doing this because we want to help people. We're not doing this. So you don't make a lot of money on YouTube unless you're into the millions of subscribers. But the rest of us who are here trying to make the world a better place, one episode at a time, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. You take care. And this is Janine Bolon with the Janine Bolon Show. And stay tuned next week when we'll have our next episode. Take care, everybody.